What's up, YouTube? So, I want to come through right quick and talk about the 5 stages of becoming woke. And some of you probably are thinking, I never really thought about that. And then some of you may be thinking, you know, I kind of have noticed, that there's a process to becoming, quote unquote, woke. So, either way, I want to come through and just kind of have a discussion about this. Well, not a discussion, but just, you know, talk about this a little bit. And disclaimer, these 5 stages, the experience is different for every person. Some people may not have, this, exact linear experience. Some people may, jump from one stage to another. Some people may only, get through maybe the first 1 or 2 stages. It's different for everybody, but this is like a general um, path that people usually go on and experience, in their journey of becoming woke. So, yeah, let's get into this now. All right, so I'll say right up front, essentially, the path, or the 5 stages of becoming woke, are essentially the 5 stages of grief for the most part. They're pretty similar to each other. Okay? The first stage is denial. When you know, are, learning new information, receiving new information, you know, starting to go on the journey. You start, at first, you tend to deny a lot of things because you're like, no, that's not true, because it's just so much to take in. It's like, whoa, that can't be true, because it's just, so severe, so grave, so, hurtful, you know. And again, this is kind of like becoming woke just in general. But of course, being woke to racism, or perhaps even colorism, right? So a lot of times people start out with denial because they just don't want to accept the truth, because the truth is just, it's just too much to handle, honestly, right? Next, the second phase is anger. So once you have passed denial, right? Once you have found out that, wait a minute, you're doing all this denying, but like you're starting to slowly, you know, add things up, and like, wait a minute, this stuff is true. Wait a minute. So then you become angry now, right? You're what the, what the fuck? I, how is this possible? And you kind of feel like you have been lied to. And, you know, that's kind of true. You, to an extent, you have been lied to. So then a lot of times people become angry, you know, during the second phase. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the first phase. Some people do stay in the first phase for a long time, sometimes even forever, like a perpetual state of denial. That does happen sometimes, right? But yeah, anger. People become angry once they know that they just can't deny it anymore, and they have to accept it as true. Then it's like why is this happening? Why have I been left in the dark? Why, how could this happen? You know? And how could you be so oblivious to this? Right? And then you start just thinking about, you know, start reflecting on the situations that you've been in throughout your life. And it's like, you know? Right. The next phase is the third phase, which is bargaining slash wanting to go back to sleep, right? And in the stages of grief, they call this bargaining, right? The third phase is bargaining. But in the stage of being woke, I'll give like a slash to that, and which is wanting to go back to sleep. Like once you have found out all this crazy stuff, once you have, you know, going through the denial, going through the anger, now you're like, damn it, I wish I could go back to sleep. And sometimes I've had those moments where I'm, especially on this like, you know, colorism woke path, right? Not so much on the racism woke path, like a little bit, but more so on the colorism woke path when I was just like, damn, I wish I could go back to sleep. Because once you become woke, you start clocking all the fucked up shit. Trust me, like for real though, you start noticing every little fucked up thing. And it's just like, damn, you just become so damn woke that you just be noticing everything. And you're like, can I go back to sleep? Can I just go back to sleep? And in life, we want to always go forward. We don't want to go backwards. But, I don't knock anybody for wanting to go back to sleep. I don't knock them for wanting to go back to sleep, but I do knock them for going back to sleep. There's a difference. There's a difference right there, right? Because the thing is, as fucked up and difficult as it is, you got to keep going forward. This is a journey, and when you're taking a journey and going on a journey, you always have to go forward. You have to keep progressing. You cannot go backwards and regress. It's kind of like, well, what's the point? And by the way, I have been low-key documenting my colorism journey. I've been posting videos for about, at least a year and a half. And these colorism videos that I've been posting are more or less me documenting my colorism journey. Because if you compare the videos to the videos that I did in the beginning versus where I am now with the content and the things that I talk about, it's much different, right? So, you guys, some of you are probably have been subscribed to me for a while. Some of you are probably new, but just a little, FYI, these colorism videos that I do are kind of like low-key me documenting my journey to becoming woke to colorism. So, yeah. All right, next stage 4. And stage 4 is depression. So once you have gone through the denial, the anger, the wanting to go backwards, and go back to sleep, then you become depressed because it's like, okay, I can't go back to sleep, and it's just like, again, all this stuff, that you're starting to notice now. Well, that you probably have been noticing, and now it's just weighing on you even more, right? Because it can become very depressing to know the state of just where you're at, like the state of society, the state of the community, right? It can be very depressing to become woke to that, right? I have personally gone through depression, both in the context of becoming woke, but also just in general as well. And, depression can be, a lot to deal with, or a bit much to deal with at times, But it's just a part of the journey. So you just got to keep going. And sometimes it's difficult to keep going, especially when you're kind of like isolated, because becoming woke can be isolating, right? Especially when people around you aren't woke, especially when you don't have nobody to sort of lean on and, talk with, And also some people are on different parts of the journey, right? Some people are on stage 1, some people are on stage 2, stage 3, like you're on stage 4, some people could be on stage 5, it's just a lot, right? So I think all this stuff coming together leads to depression, right? But I just, hang in there, you know, hang in there. So the fifth and final stage is acceptance, right? You just come to finally just accept that this is the situation that you're in, right? So you're no longer in denial. You're no longer angry, and for the most part. You know, you're not trying to go back to sleep, for the most part. And you're not depressed for the most part, right? You're in a space where you have finally come to accept the state that you're in, in the state that the society and community that you're a part of are in. And now it's kind of like, what's next? Because you kind of have gone through this journey now, so it's like, what's the next step? You know? And I guess that's just to be determined. Some people often try to wake people up, one way or another. I've kind of been doing that in my own way, at least, And I've kind of seen people having sort of their own progression in like my comment section. Like sometimes, like, because some people have been kind of with me for a while, and you probably don't think I'm not paying attention, but trust me, I do pay attention. I do keep track of the information that you guys tell me, right? Particularly like the personal information that you guys tell me about, your familial situations, your relationships, all that good stuff. And honestly, I think that's probably one of the cool parts about my channel in particular. Not saying that you can't find it on other people's channel, but on my channel, it's a bit more intimate. So, I could do a live stream and kind of know the people. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But, do a live stream and there not be like a ton of people in the live stream, so I can kind of interact with you guys on a more one-on-one level. As well, my comments section, hasn't, just exploded with comments, although it's getting there. I see it's slowly but surely getting there, because I've been noticing like the comments have been on the rise lately, which is good. It means like people are really, interacting, taking in what I'm saying, and paying attention. So that's cool, A bit off subject, but sometimes I think people kind of feel like like they need to be, low key, just, oh, wake up, wake up, wake up, like just, nudge here and there. But sometimes with me, I tend to just douse the water on you, okay? Like, I ain't got time at this point to be coddling someone out of their sleep. Like, I ain't got the time and the patience for it at this point, So I'm just throwing water on all y'all motherfuckers out there. Wake the fuck up, all right? But that's pretty much all I have to say for the moment. So what do you guys think? Hey, let me know in the comments section. I'll catch you in the next video. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.